Breaking news from the latest 2026 Epstein file dumps. Ellen DeGeneres has been exposed as the key link connecting Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island network to Hollywood's hidden world of ritualistic practices, including the consumption of human flesh in ancient-style ceremonies. But the revelations go deeper.
What if the story everyone thinks they understand is only the surface of something much deeper? Hollywood has always been seen as a place of fame, success, and influence. But behind the cameras, behind the lights, many believe there's another world operating quietly, one that rarely gets exposed. After the downfall of Jeffrey Epstein and the conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell, people didn't just see a scandal. They saw cracks in a system that once felt untouchable. And now, years later, those cracks are being questioned again. Because one name keeps coming up in conversations: Ellen DeGeneres. A global icon, a trusted face, someone who built an empire on positivity. But at the same time, comedian Katt Williams has been making statements that suggest nothing in Hollywood happens by accident. So when timelines start overlapping, people start asking uncomfortable questions. Is this all coincidence? Or is there something bigger that no one wants to talk about? To understand why this story is gaining attention, we have to go back to what is actually confirmed. In June 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. This was a major moment in one of the most high-profile criminal cases in recent history. Her conviction officially tied her to Jeffrey Epstein's operation, an operation that had already shocked the world. At almost the same time, another major shift was happening in entertainment. Ellen DeGeneres announced the end of her talk show after 19 seasons. For nearly 2 decades, her show dominated daytime television. It wasn't just popular, it was part of pop culture. Officially, the ending was linked to declining ratings and controversies surrounding workplace conditions. But the timing stood out, because shortly after stepping away, Ellen reportedly relocated to the United Kingdom with Portia de Rossi. A sudden move, a new country, a quiet transition. Individually, these events have explanations, but together, they created a timeline that people couldn't ignore.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And everybody, whoa,
Yeah.
can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
And Ghislaine Maxwell is asking a federal court to vacate her conviction on sex trafficking and other charges. The request could complicate the Justice Department's release of the Epstein files by tomorrow's deadline. ABC News Washington Bureau Managing Editor Catherine Falders is here for more on that. Hi, Catherine. So Maxwell's petition says substantial new evidence has emerged.
Katt Williams has never been someone who stays silent. Over the years, he's built a reputation not just as a comedian, but as someone who challenges the system openly. In multiple interviews, he suggested that Hollywood operates under structures that the public rarely sees. According to him, success isn't always about talent. Exposure isn't always accidental. And controversy isn't always random. Now to be clear, Katt Williams has not directly accused Ellen DeGeneres of being involved in any criminal activity. But that's not what's driving attention. It's the tone of what he's saying. Because when someone repeatedly claims that nothing in Hollywood is coincidence, people start looking at real-world events differently. They start connecting moments, questioning timing, and searching for patterns. The Epstein case changed how people see power, because this wasn't just about one individual committing crimes. It revealed a network. Court documents confirmed that Ghislaine Maxwell played a key role in recruiting victims. But beyond that, there were connections, powerful connections, across politics, business, and entertainment. And while some details became public, many did not. Documents were sealed. Names were redacted. Information remained hidden. And when information is incomplete, it creates space for speculation. Because people don't like unanswered questions. They look for meaning, even when the full picture isn't available.
When I called the FBI to report it, I made Ghislaine Maxwell's role very clear. So they have known what role Ghislaine Maxwell played since 1996 when I told them. And I'm so angry because they allowed it to exist for 26 years. They created most of these victims you're hearing from today. Almost all of them happened after my report.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. This was the repeated response from Jeffrey Epstein's close associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, during her deposition before the U.S. House Committee. But what exactly does pleading the fifth mean? Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence after her 2021 conviction of helping facilitate Epstein's abuse of underage girls.
Once the timeline became public, the internet did what it always does. It started connecting dots. Old clips resurfaced. Past interviews were reanalyzed. Moments that once seemed normal suddenly looked different under a new lens. And within a short time, a narrative began to spread. A narrative that linked unrelated events, based purely on timing and perception. And the more people talked about it, the more real it started to feel. Because in the digital age, repetition can turn speculation into belief.
Ellen DeGeneres, the disgraced daytime TV queen, has been unmasked as the living bridge between Jeffrey Epstein's elite network and Hollywood's satanic occult core. She didn't just visit the island, she dragged Epstein's inner circle into the abyss, initiating them into the ritual consumption of human flesh as an ancient blood-drenched sacrament. Fresh, unredacted 2026 Epstein file dumps deliver the gut punch confirmation.
But this is where things need to be clearly understood, because not everything that trends online is true. There is no verified evidence linking Ellen DeGeneres to Jeffrey Epstein's criminal network. No confirmed investigation. No legal charges. No official documentation. The theories circulating online are based on coincidence, not proof. And in a story this serious, where real crimes and real victims exist, it's important to separate facts from assumptions, because speculation, without evidence, can distort reality.
And Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning
That said, Ellen DeGeneres has faced real controversy. In 2020, multiple former employees came forward with allegations about a toxic work environment. The claims gained massive attention. Media coverage intensified. And eventually, internal investigations were launched. Ellen later addressed the situation publicly, acknowledging that issues existed within the workplace. While these events were unrelated to Epstein, they impacted her public image significantly, because once trust is questioned, every action that follows is viewed differently.
Ellen DeGeneres' fall from grace truly needs to be studied.
Ellen's rough. That's
Ellen
a rough
is like
one.
an old.
But it's a rough one now.
It's so weird when you see.
A lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's
Following her conviction, Ghislaine Maxwell made several statements through legal channels. One of the most discussed claims was her denial of having knowledge about any client list. A statement that raised more questions than answers, because for years, many believed Epstein's network involved powerful individuals behind the scenes. Yet key details remain unclear, and that lack of clarity continues to fuel ongoing speculation. So why is all of this resurfacing now? Because public perception has changed. After major cases like Harvey Weinstein, people no longer see power as unquestionable. They see it as something that can hide in plain sight. And that shift in mindset has made audiences more willing to question everything, even when there isn't complete evidence.
Teresa, at the beginning of the show, I played a soundbite from Maria Farmer, as you know, another Epstein survivor. And she said in the clip that we showed, she's never met a more predatory human being in her entire life than Ghislaine Maxwell. One, do you agree with that character?
So where does this leave us? Some facts are confirmed. Some questions remain unanswered, and some narratives are still evolving. But one thing is clear. People are paying closer attention than ever before. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think this is all just coincidence? Or is there something deeper behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the next story might change everything.